Good afternoon, Spurs fans everywhere. This is THFC Till I Die, the home of Tottenham past, present, and hopefully the future. This is a quick Newsbeat broadcast just to bring you up to date with anything that's been happening or not happening on the Spurs managerial hunt. And I'm joined this afternoon by our usual co-host, Mia, from Spurs Between the Lines. How are you, Mia?
Yes, I'm not too bad.
Good, good, good. Thursday afternoon, not a lot happening other than the rumor mill is sort of gathering force. And before we discuss that, we'll just go through a few of the comments of the people that are in the chat and say hello to them. And trying to get to the top of these now. Now we're starting off with the disabled team saying good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon to you. And David Clark, a regular contributor, is saying hello from the sunny Leicester. Yeah, sun's kind of half shining here as well, which is quite a change. We had a deluge of rain yesterday, but it's got quite nice
sunny
today.
here as
yeah,
well,
well, that's
actually.
good.
It's nice and sunny down by the beach.
Lovely. Oh, lovely, lovely, lovely. And Spurs within the lines, Mia saying good afternoon. I hope you're well, indeed. And Wayne Bonner, this is going to be what we're going to be discussing about. He says, afternoon, everyone. Hope you're all well. Yeah, it's too soon for company. He needs to learn his craft more and gain that experience. However, on the other hand, if it's a long-term thing, then maybe. Interesting point, Wayne, and we'll try and expand on that a little bit now in a minute or two. And the disabled team again is saying, hi, Philip and me. I hope you're both well. Indeed, yes, we are. We're raring to go for Saturday, I think. We need a good performance on Saturday against Bournemouth. And 164 Spurs says, good afternoon, Philip. Good afternoon to you, sir. And Daniela Zita is saying, good afternoon again. Good afternoon, Daniela.
Good afternoon to everybody.
Yeah, they're saying disabled team. Rodgers is a short-term manager, so maybe get him for 2 to 3 seasons. Actually, 2 to 3 seasons of Spurs is long-term. Then go for Company, but I think Company would rather the City job. Maybe, but he might want a bit of Premier experience before that, you know. And I don't think David Clark would agree with you there on the Brendan Rodgers situation. But anyway, so that's everybody that's in the chat just at the moment that's commented. So here's a couple of things now we just want to discuss. This one. Is Levy in panic mode over managerial appointment? Now, we believe that what's happening here, and again, we cannot put any absolute truth in any of these rumours, they are rumours, is that Daniel Levy, anyone that he's approached so far, has more or less told him, yeah, I'll consider it if Harry Kane signs a new contract. And this is where the De Zerbi thing came from yesterday, I think, that he approached De Zerbi with not a lot of hope that Brighton will allow us permission to talk. And Mia, I don't know whether you've heard anything more. Have Brighton actually been approached, or have they allowed us to have a chat with De Zerbi?
I can't see anything that has said so, or any credible source that has said so. So no, currently I haven't seen anything with regards to that. So I'm not sure what is going on with it, but I do think that it is pretty bad if we're going to. I know that everyone's saying, obviously, everyone wants a Harry Kane in their team, but if he doesn't sign a contract and he's only here for a year, they can only have him for a year. So I just think, are all managers basing their think like whether they're going to come to us on that? It just doesn't seem very realistic. I don't know.
Yeah, I know it is. It's a tricky one. I mean, it's a kind of a Harry Kane is obviously every manager's delight to have him as a forward in the club. But like the one thing, Harry Kane is pushing 30 now. In a couple of seasons, he'll be classed as a veteran, and whether he wants to stay on, I think whether he wants to stay on really depends a lot on who we appoint as manager. And this is a kind of chicken and egg situation now that we're in. So I don't know how that's going to work itself out, you know. But I really don't know. But this De Zerbi thing, I mean, personally, after his outburst on Saturday, he's the last manager I want to see at the club. You know, really, okay, that'll be forgotten about. If he comes and does a good job, that'll be, you know, yesterday's news. But I just feel, as me and myself were talking earlier, we like a bit of passion in our manager, but we don't want some guys to go totally over the top and get maybe 4 or 5 red cards in a season for their antics on the touchline. Like that's his second red card of the season, and he's only with Brighton since September. So that's fairly good average. That is more than most managers will manage in a career, you know. So we'll have to wait and see what happens on that one. But I'll just go back to a few more comments before we move on to the next bit. Is Adrian Cheer. Good morning, sir and madam. Oh, very formal.
Ooh, I don't know if I like being called a madam.
Called a madam. She mightn't like that.
Yeah, I'm not sure I do.
Only joking, Adrian. Only joking.
Yes, only a joke.
Disabled team says, again, I agree with Wayne Bonner with your thinking. Spurs need a project manager. Yeah, probably right. You know, I mean, we don't want a knee-jerk reaction here. This is a very important, a very, very important appointment when this comes. It could make or break a lot of things, and we've got it wrong so much in the past. We've got to get it right this time, you know. And Wayne Bonner again. So I'm not sure Levy has a clear plan as to who is a manager. A Nuno length search incoming. Oh my God, no, please. We can't have another 70 or 90, whatever it took 3 months to get a manager. We were a laughing stock then. We've done nothing to improve that reputation since. So a 90-day search for a manager would be an absolute disaster. It really would, you know. But anyway, we'll have to wait and see. And Wayne again saying, disabled team, think it's going to be a case of who actually wants the job and not who the board wants. Yeah, it could be that, you know, if we're turned down by a number of managers, then it's going to be someone who actually wants to take on the challenge. And let's face it, Donny Levy's reputation has gone way ahead of him. And a lot of managers would not want to come near Tottenham while he's in charge. So there's a lot of obstacles in the way of us getting our new manager. And Stephen Thomas, good afternoon, Stephen. He's saying the question to ask is who wants to work with Levy? His stock is at the bottom. That's just what I'm after saying there, you know. I mean, of all the Premiership chairmen, he's probably the one that's got the least attractability factor, if you like. And it's going to be someone that's going to be a strong personality needed that can stand up to Levy and dictate his own terms for when he comes in. And the disabled team is saying, laughing at what Wayne Bonner says. Yeah, that's it. So anyway, this is the interesting bit of news that we've been getting. Is that Vincent Kompany is now the bookie's favourite. Now, Vincent Kompany, he hasn't a great deal of managerial experience, but he did manage Anderlecht in Belgium, one of the top clubs in Belgium, and he took what I would regard as a huge chance there. He left Anderlecht to manage a team that had just been relegated to the Championship in Burnley. And look what he's done. Burnley have played some of the most attractive football I've seen from any team playing this season. And okay, he might have got lucky with the players that he inherited from Sean Dyche. I don't know, but he certainly moved up in the ranks of the approachable managers. And he also would appear he's interested in the job. Now, I heard someone commenting earlier he might be waiting for the City job. That's not going to come up anytime soon. But Vincent Kompany could use the Tottenham job for a couple of years. Because let's face it, that's all our managers usually last anyway, apart from Poch, to move on to the City job. I mean, I would actually, you know, welcome Vincent Kompany at Tottenham. I think his ideas, he plays attacking football. He's not scared of taking a chance. So what do you think, Mia? Would you welcome Kompany?
Do you know what? To be honest, at first I said maybe he isn't experienced enough, but then I've been hearing some really good things about him. So when the players at one point, they didn't do well, I don't know what happened, but he didn't go into the dressing room. He basically shouted at them in the middle of the pitch. He didn't take them back into the changing rooms. He just bawled them out right in front of everybody, like out there. And I quite like that because that means he's got that real strong personality to take on players as well. He's not going to have any of this nonsense from players, which I really like. And I like that kind of attitude in a way where he's going to speak to them, not speak to the press about them, but actually speak to them and say to them, listen, this is where you're going wrong. So, yeah, I quite like him. I think he's got the right attitude. I think he's young. I think he's up and coming. I think he's quite exciting. So I would definitely give Kompany a chance. I think he's worth taking a punt on because I think that some of the other managers are a bit too long in the tooth, and I don't know. I think giving someone young and up and coming is a bit like what we did with Poch in a way.
Exactly.
So I think we gave Poch that chance. People were saying about Kompany this and that, but Poch didn't have much experience when he come to us. So I think why not?
Exactly. You took the words out of my mouth. I was going to say Poch only had a couple of years Premiership experience when they took him from Southampton. So I think Kompany. I think he's pretty much got Burnley promoted now. I'm not sure they actually promoted or will be after the next match. So he's done his business.
So I would say probably now.
Yeah, I mean, fair dues. I mean, Burnley are a yo-yo team. They're up and down every couple of seasons. I would hope now that maybe Levy could come to an agreement that he'll leave him with Burnley, let him have his glory for Burnley till the end of the season, hopefully win the title in the Championship, and then move into Tottenham in the summer. So that might be what's going to happen, you know. And I know a lot of people. It'll be a divisive appointment. I mean, as every appointment is going to be, no one's going to agree wholeheartedly on any appointment that comes into the club. But I think he is a young, aggressive manager. Plus, he's also got the experience that for his last couple of years of his playing career at City, he was playing under Pep Guardiola there, and would have learned a lot from his time at City. He's also learned a lot how to deal with players with with an ego problem. Like there's a lot of players at City now, big earners, big players, and he was the club captain, and he calmed a lot of them down. So I think from that point of view, his personality is strong, and that's what we need. Someone that can stand up to the rigors of managing Tottenham, because it's not just a football team you're managing; it's a lot of other things in the background as well. Your chairman and the hopes and aspirations of the fans as well. But there's another man in the scene as well. Now, whether this is one that's going to happen, it's Arne Slot, the Feyenoord manager, who is also believed to be interested. Now, he's believed to be interested in Leeds as well, but I don't know. I don't know whether that's going to happen. But the problem, I think, Slot has got he's got kids at school in Holland. At an exam type of an age, so I don't know whether he'd want to move the family. But then again, Conte didn't move the family; he came on his own. So, what do you reckon, Arne Slot, Mia?
I think he's a good choice, but this whole school thing is something I think will hold him back possibly. I really do, because I think that it's going to be really difficult when they're at that age for exams, and he might not want to leave them. He might not be the type of person who can leave them, who thinks, oh, I'll just pop back and forth, you know. So that just might be something that does hold him back for now, coming into the Prem, or coming into like another country. But it might be once the exams are over, he might feel different, but it'll be too late for us by then. But yeah, I don't know if he will come really, although I think he's a good option. I do really like him.
I think too the fact he's on a longish term contract with Feyenoord, I think it's another 2 years to run, that he would be quite an expensive purchase. Whereas Burnley and company might not just be as expensive. I'm not quite sure what contract company is on at Burnley, but let's hope something happens soon anyway. And you know, it's. Although I have to say, I mean, I'm assuming that the last 20 minutes of the game against Brighton, Ryan Mason actually used his own discretion to make the substitutions he did, bringing on Danjuma and whatever. So maybe we're in reasonably good hands with the two boys, especially Mason, until the end of the season. At this stage, I can't see another manager coming in now between now and another 8 matches to go. I think we're going to have what we've got until June or July, when when some of these guys might be more approachable than they are now. But anyway, just to finish off, we haven't got that's really a quick show this morning. A few more comments just to show here. Jack Kaniki, good morning, Philip and Mia. Hiya, Jack. How are you? It was good to talk to you from New York the other day. I'm sorry I didn't get on longer, but my battery was flat. And it's good to see you. And I hope yourself and Dave now are getting psyched up for a couple of programs before the weekend and the game against Bournemouth. And Stephen Thomas, wait until he has performed in the Prem. Think of Norwich, who will win the Championship easy and get stuffed in the Prem. Yeah, that might be more to do with the players than the manager. You know, I don't know. Listen, I think whatever happens at Company or Slot or whoever, it's going to be a 50-50 appointment. People are going to, half us are going to agree it, and some of us half doesn't. So we'll just have to wait and see, you know. And then we have Disabled Team. Hi, Jack Kaniki. Hope you're well. Hope you are, Jack. I have to say, I was driving to the Bronx the other day now. There's some traffic in that part of town. I don't know how you cope over there. And Spurs Between the Lines is me again. Join us again at Jack Kaniki. We are blessed. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, Jack is Roy. Excuse me 1 second. I just have to take this.
I'll just quickly take over. Yes, definitely. We're blessed to have Jack joining us again, because you came in the other day. So, yeah, it's good to see you here. He's saying that the traffic is the least you've got to work about in the Bronx, Philip. Yeah, no, it is true. The Bronx is a pretty a place well known, isn't it, down in the Bronx?
Yeah. Yeah, it is all right. It's just I was not used to driving in New York, and it was kind of a bit sticky, when we got there. Anyway, and just to finish off, Wayne Bonner says, "Good morning, Jack Kenny." Jack's getting a lot of love on the channel here, and rightly deserved. I mean, himself and Dave do a great job on the Irish Hotspur. They really do. And Jack Kenny, big up me, and Wayne, big up to my favourite Leeds fan. There you are now. And this is Ben, and Ben always comes in with a caustic comment, which is very well worth reading. Afternoon, everybody. Company himself playing centre back because of how bad Dyer is. Otherwise, you could be a player manager, bring him back in and play for us as well. Ben, is that what you're saying? But Company was a great centre half. Now, in all fairness, it really was. It really was. And the disabled team. Do you really know? Do you really think the club know who they actually want? Probably not. Probably not. I'd say they have people they'd like to get, but have no chance of getting them. And that's probably where it's at the moment. If we could be a fly on the wall in Levy's office, it would be something else.
Do you know what I would say about that is, though, don't forget other clubs are in the same situation. Look at Chelsea; they're in the exact same situation, and they're not. I think that their owner is a bit of a funny one. We don't know what, like, he hasn't really got much of a plan. He just seems to be all over the place. Did you see he posted last night that they were going to beat Madrid 3-0? I was like, what is he on to say they're going to win 3? Is he crazy? Like, so they're all as well in a bit of a situation getting managers. There's lots of different teams out there looking for managers at the moment.
Yeah,
that's what I would say.
The Chelsea guy is an idiot. That's the only way to describe him. He really is. I mean, to come out with that.
Polite.
Imagine the pressure you're putting on your team when your chairman posts we're going to beat Real Madrid 3-0. I mean, that's crazy stuff. It really is. A 5-year-old child should know you don't do things like that. Well, anyway, so maybe we're fortunate we don't have him as chairman. Bad known as we are, we with a nutcase like that, it's a joke. Absolutely. And Jack's saying that, I think you read this already, Mia, the traffic is the least you've got to worry about in the Bronx. Well, I was actually only passing through the Bronx. We were staying out in Yonkers, which is a bit further out. And it's known as the 33rd Irish county. And I can see why now. Every second building is an Irish bar or restaurant. So let's just say they did a great business over the weekend. Anyway, that's about it, I think, Mia. Unless you have anything else you want to mention. I know we're coming on again at 4:00 with a special. We want our Tottenham back, which might be interesting.
Yep. No, I think that's it. Like, to me, like I say, I think that the fact that we've got the managers that we're looking at seem to be, it's quite good, because it looks like they want to have a different style of manager. It doesn't look like they're going for another Conte style manager anyway. So I think we can take that as a positive, maybe. And I think that the club have got a plan in that sense, that they don't want to do that from what we've heard on who they're looking at. So we've got to take at least that tiny bit of positivity to hope that that is the case. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, I know. I think we want, and this is probably going to be the theme on that, we want our Tottenham back. We want a manager who promotes attacking football. We want a manager that when we're playing at home, we dominate the ball. We don't sit back and wait to win it back. And we want a manager that has got the Bill Nicholson and the Keith Birkinshaw ideas of how to play football. And if we get that, I think we'll not be too. We'll be very happy.
Even worse comes to worse, we can have an Aussie style. Just get on the pitch and score the goals, boys. Don't worry about defending. Just go out and score the goals.
I don't want to see a situation where teams like Brighton can come to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium and dominate us. I mean, that is very, very hard to take. And it just can't continue. We've got to get on the front foot now and start beating these teams, putting them in their place. I know we won against Brighton on Saturday, but I think even those ardent Spurs fans will say we were fortunate to win that game.
Oh, gosh, yeah. We were very lucky. We had the luck of the Irish on our side that day. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, well, we needed it because, I mean, okay, I know we've had decisions with VAR going against us and whatever, and they all balance out at the end of the season, but that was a particularly fortunate game against Brighton. If I was a Brighton fan now, I'd be pulling my hair out over that, But anyway, c'est la vie, that's the way it goes. And Mia, promote your channel there, which is doing great guns at the moment.
If you would like to hear more of what I've got to say, I do lives in the mornings, Mondays, Wednesdays and Saturdays, 8:45 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time. So if you're able to join me or watch it after, it's always good that people do come back and watch it afterwards. So yeah, I do that. I do other content. I do a bit of history content. I've done a couple of videos. So yeah, I do varied content. I do lives. I do just normal videos like pre-records, and I do like I say, pre-records that are about history. Also, I do shorts as well. So I've got plenty of content for you to consume. If you can go over and give me a subscribe, watch the content and like it all, and give it a comment, because comments always help with the algorithm. Also, like THFC Till I Die and do the same. Comments and likes.
Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Remember, and go for your memberships as well. The like buttons are very important as well, because it helps the algorithm get the numbers up. And listen, we'll be back at 4:00 with, as I say, it could be an interesting discussion. I think Ellie's coming on as well, and Dermot will be back on with the two of us. And
it'll be the four musketeers back again, really, Philip.
Yeah, for the first time in a good while, we've all been together. So for one reason or another. And let's see if we can solve all Spurs problems in that hour or so that we're going to be talking about. We want our Tottenham back. So until then, folks, thanks very much for tuning in, and we'll see you soon. And as always, come on, you Spurs.
And in the fans we trust.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.